Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia, and I am today starting with the area of accounting. I hope I'm audible as well as visible, everyone. We'll be talking about the JIIB May 2023 updated syllabus, and we'll be talking about the classes for the same. And we are starting with the area of AFM, right? So just let me know if I'm audible as well as visible clearly. Okay. So today I'll be starting with the basics of accounting. That's the first level that we need to understand when we talk about AFM. The first and foremost thing is to know what is exactly accounting, right? So that is what we are looking forward to today. Let's understand the entire area of accounting. Uh, how do we define the term accounting? In terms of accounting, it starts with noting down. See, I don't remember what I did yesterday if I don't have a clue about it exactly. If I've done n number of things yesterday, if you ask me what I did at 7 a.m. tomorrow yesterday, or what I did on the Sunday, maybe Sunday 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or maybe at 12 a.m. or at any random time, if you ask me that what were you doing at that point of time, I might not be able to answer you properly. Why? Because I don't have a particular log of the same, right? So in terms of accounting, what they're doing with is they're noting down. What are they recording? They are recording individual transactions. They say that whatever is happening in the business, we need to know now. For example, if I have my bank account in your bank, so what will happen? I might have to come to you and I'll ask you that what is happening in my bank account. You'll say, ma'am, we might be doing this, we might be doing that. I'm going to ask you that what's the amount that is there in my bank account, and what was the last amount that I deposit? What is exactly happening with the amount that I'm giving to the organization today, or I've just deposited? Basically, what is passbook? Passbook is basically maintaining the book accounts of the people. So what is exactly accounts then? Accounts is basically it's an art of recording. Why do we say it's an art of recording? Banks record accounts in a different manner. The overall, if you'll see the account books of various organizations, you will realize they are recording it in a different manner. When we talk about a banking company or insurance company, there's a difference in how they're keeping their books of accounts. And in terms of even a basic grocery store, or if you say even the basic household, people are recording transactions, but how are they recording? They're recording it differently because all of us have a different art of recording. Then we all are classifying accounts in a different manner. When we talk about classifying accounts in a different manner, what is happening? See, recording of a transaction means I made multiple sales today. I made multiple purchases today. But at the end of the day, I don't even remember how much of things that I had done. So what will I do? By the end of the day, I'll say, I think I had transactions with Mr. Ram. I had multiple transactions with Mr. Ram. So what will I do? What I'll do is that if I have multiple transactions with Mr. Ram in the entire year, so let's note them down together and understand what is the exact amount that is due. What is that exact amount? So basically, that is what we call as classifying. Then the next point that comes is summarizing. When we talk about summarizing, summarizing means coming up with a particular area where by the end of the day, we are going to know what exactly amount that is due with Mr. Ram or due from Mr. Ram. Whatever the exact thing that is happening, we'll be summarizing it all together in a significant manner. And then that too in terms of money. One of the basic reasons that we record transactions is money. We don't even remember if I ask you that what was the last amount that I gave you or what was the last amount I gave you. People might deny and people might not be able to give a particular amount that they're stating. But if both of us are recording all the transactions, none of us can deny it. Isn't it about that? So basically, it is done in terms of money. There are two other terms, transactions and events. Now, there's another explanation for the same. When we talk about the term transactions, transactions means whatever is happening. We made a purchase today, we made a sale today, we had a particular we incurred a specific expense because we wanted to earn. So basically, in terms of transactions, all the things that are happening, they are called transactions. But whatever the result of the same would be, it would be called an event. So basically, first term is transactions, and transaction lead to events which are a part of at least of the financial character. Again, it must be something which relates to your business that should be noted accordingly, and then we need to interpret the results thereof. See, if you have a specific report card and we just note down all the marks on the same, then what are we going to know about it? Nothing. It's just a data. But by the end of the day, when we total, we find the percentages. We try to tell the parents that in terms of term one, this was their performance, in terms of term two, and in terms of the final, see, this is the entire performance they had. When we're talking about all those things together, then it start making sense. That means that is how we define the area of accounting as well. In terms of accounting, first of all, we note down all the expenses and all the incomes and all the related transactions as well. Then we try to connect the dots, and then we say this is what we are going to do and how we are going to do. So that is what we term as the area of accounting. Okay. Then in terms of accounting, there are certain objectives of accounting. The accounting is not done blindly. That's another important area to be looked forward to. Number one, it provides information to the users for rational decision making. See, if I am noting down each and every transaction, it's not something that I'm doing blindly. Isn't it about that? We are providing information to the users for rational decision making. If you want, if my company is putting its share in the market, you need to know what is the exact profit of my company. Whether I am a company which would be surviving in the world for a longer period or a shorter period. That is what we're going to talk about. That means we need to understand why are we, if anybody is putting money into this organization, then we are going to provide information to the users for a normal and a rational decision making. Then the second point is ascertainment of the results of the above transactions. Now, the next point that comes is that if you are doing multiple transactions, you're going to let people know about them, but you're also going to tell them what is the result of each and every transaction. Think about it. If I am doing a particular transaction, you need to know what are the repercussions of the same. Whether we, after that particular transaction, are we making any profit or are we making any losses, right? That is how we define the area of ascertainment of results of the above transactions. Then the next point is systematic recording of transactions. See, the point is, if you're providing information to the people, then how can you provide the information if you are not recording the transactions in a normal way, in a proper way, in an organized way? Isn't it about that? If it's in a chaotic way, will you be able to understand the information? No, it becomes very difficult. So basically, systematic recording of transactions is required. Then, to ascertain the financial position of the business, we need to know what is the financial position of the business. We need to know that what is the whether the organization is making profit, whether it is making losses, and at the same time, what is it that the organization is having. That is to know the solvency of the position of the organization. That means there are so many NPAs that happen in the bank. This is something which is always a pain for all the managers. Why? Because these people, they took loans and they're not paying off well. So basically, we need to know whatever organization that we're giving loans to, whether they have that solvency. Do they have enough money that they can pay us in future as well? That is how we define the solvency position. And we talk about the financial position. You'll ask the person about their net worth, not only what they have in terms of their securities. They have a house, they have anything else. That is their financial position. In terms of that, we are going to ask them what is their source of income, what is it that they're having. That is how we define the term net worth or the financial position of the business. So when we look forward to this area, that is the that is when we talk about objectives of accounting. They're predefined and at the same time they determine whether the organization is worthy of being investing in terms of the future or not. That is how we define the area of objectives. Okay. Then in terms of accounting, we have three major terms. Number one is bookkeeping, number two is accounting, and number three is accountancy. Okay, now we'll be talking about the basics there, right? So first is bookkeeping. If I really have to just translate the term, then what do you mean by bookkeeping? Maintaining a book? And what do we write in the book? in terms of an organization, they'll record whatever is happening in the organization, a sale, a purchase, and any expense that they're incurring, even in terms of any expense that they're incurring for the salaries of the various people who are working for the organization, right? So maintaining books of accounts is the first level things. Till the time you do not maintain the books of accounts, how can you ask a question regarding the same? So basically, bookkeeping is basically maintaining the accounts of the organization. First of all, it starts with noting down individual transactions, then summarizing it, right? Then the first is individual transactions, then we classify them, then we summarize them, then we analyze them, what's exactly happening. Then we interpret, okay, are we making a profit or not? And then after interpreting, we communicate. By the end of the day, we have to tell the government about the same. Banks have to tell whatever their position is, whatever their performance is to RBI. They are answerable to RBI. All the banks which are listed, they have to also answer to SEBI. What are they dealing with and what is going to happen there? In terms of the regulatory bodies, they are under strict control of RBI. And then SEBI is again regulating them in terms of their share market. So basically, for that, they have to maintain their books because they might be asked at any point of time to provide certain details, and the details aren't oral that are required, right? So basically, it is all written. So that is how we define the term accounting, the bookkeeping. But the point is, by just noting the transactions, RBI will not understand what the exact work of a bank is. They need to understand what is exactly the organization doing. Are they making a profit? Are they making a loss? Is there any fraud that is happening, right? Or thank you so much, ma'am. In terms of accounting, when we define this area, the profit, whether we are making any profit or is there any loss, or in terms of the expansion, how much the entire working is going on over the period of time. In accounting, we'll be talking about the various terminologies as well. So let me just give you a brief of one of them. That is called assets. See, whatever helps me in generating revenue, it's not itself generating revenue, it helps me in generating revenue. For example, if I am someone who's selling furniture, okay, the showroom where I'm selling it, it's not something that I am selling that showroom to people. What I'm doing is I am using that showroom to display all the furniture that I've got, and then people will come in and buy things. There are certain things in terms of a desk, in terms of a particular computer, and a few basic things that I'm going to keep. Those assets, those things that I've kept to enable myself to sell goods to you, that is an asset. If I have a car, I'm using it for the business, it's an asset. Why am I using it? Because I need something through which I can sell the goods to you. Because to sell a good, I have to incur expenses. Isn't it about that? Those things which helps you in earning, that is what we call an asset. Then another term, I am putting my money into business. My hard-earned money is going to the business. That is how we define it as capital. But sometimes I might be falling short in terms of money. That's a hardcore reality. Every businessman, when he starts growing further, then at one point of time, he might feel that my capital is not enough to make this business grow. Then what should I do? He'll take money from other people. That is how we define it as a liability. So it can be an asset, it can be capital, and then it can also be a liability. That means in terms of a liability, what happens is if we need money for the business, we'll take it from others. And it's basically a burden on our head. Isn't it about that? Because we need to pay them off at any point of time in the upcoming future. That is called a liability. Right? So in terms of accounting, you record what is the profit or loss through your expenses and incomes, and you analyze it in detail. In terms of bookkeeping, you are just noting down and noting down because you are answerable to people. So it's basically just the area of noting down the transactions, but you are not understanding the repercussions of the same. Accounting understands the repercussions of the same. Whether we're making any profit or any losses, we are answerable to multiple people. So all these things comes up. When then what's accountancy then? That's the next level question, that why is there a need of accountancy if we have bookkeeping and accounting going on there? One is maintaining, one is analyzing. Then accountancy is basically the knowledge. If I study today, then I know what I'm dealing with today. But if I keep on studying that particular thing over a period of time, then I know exactly what I'm going to do and what I've done till now. Basically, if I study the organization from its inception, first year, second year, third year, and we see the growth of it, then you and I, we can track it up. Isn't it about that? We can track its importance in terms of its improvements, whether they're making good profits, whether they are facing losses, what is exactly that is happening with the organization. That is building up knowledge about the same. That is how we define accountancy. Okay. I think if there's any issue, I think then. Okay. Can you see it clearly now? First is bookkeeping, second is accounting, and the third is accountancy. So these are the three terms that we have done till now. Now let's move on towards the next area. Oh, okay. So today we'll be starting with the area of bookkeeping. What exactly bookkeeping is about, right? So let's move towards the area of what exactly bookkeeping is. In terms of bookkeeping, when we define the term bookkeeping, what is exactly the bookkeeping scenario? It's basically a mechanical task. Why do we call it a mechanical task? Because the people who are recording it, they are not supposed to analyze what the situation would be. These are basically people who are working at the lowest level in the management. They are there just to note down. No, Alka ma'am, it's still there. This is basically where we define it as in terms of the lowest level. People would be noting it down. They are just there to note down each and every transaction. So none of the transaction would be missed. So what are they doing us? They collect the basic financial information. For example, when we talk about census, heard about it? There are certain people, there are different government officials as well as non-government officials who are basically sent and they collect the information of each and every household of our country. What are they doing? They're collecting information. This is where we define the term as bookkeeping. But when we talk about it being a bookkeeping scenario, then you identify the events and transactions related with the financial character. See, always remember, finance is all about noting down things which can be measured in terms of money. If something cannot be measured in terms of money, then why would we record it? So basically, we'll be recording only the economic transactions, not something which is there in terms of the non-economic areas. Then the measurement of the economic transactions in terms of money, that too related to business. We are not going to note down if I am doing something at my place, that is my personal area. That's not my business. So basically, business transaction would be recorded separately. Then we'll record their financial effects of the economic transactions in order of their occurrence, how they are occurring, we'll be recording them. Then we classify the effects of economic transactions. Then we classify them. And then we prepare the trial balance. The trial balance is basically an entire statement. Whatever has happened by the end of the day, if I ask you, what are we dealing with? You say, we will be dealing this. By the end of the day, I'll be like, okay, can you just summarize it a bit? You said, okay. Then what you did is you prepared a particular list of all those things. That is how we make it as a statement. In terms of accounting, we are going to deal with all these areas together. How are we going to deal with? This is what we'll be dealing with. That is called an accounting cycle. Number one, the recording of transactions that we had talked about. That is a part of bookkeeping, right? So first of all, we will be recording the transactions. Then we will be recording the transaction in terms of journal. Journal means recording each and every transaction individually. Then we transfer them to specific tables because it becomes easier now. If I ask you to read a paragraph and if I give you a particular tabular form, what will you read? you'll ultimately go towards the tabular form because it's easier to read. So that means we'll be creating ledgers, and then the all the tables that we have created, we'll keep a summary of the same because the management doesn't have enough time to go through each and every table. So they'll be preparing a trial balance for the same. After preparing the trial balance, they will make adjustments. In terms of adjustments means by the end of the day we have a rough sketch of what exactly the financial position of the organization is. Then the next point that will come up is we will adjust the things. Whatever new is required, we'll be noting them down. Once we know about that part, then we will look forward towards the adjusting the trial balance. We'll be adjusting our list according to the entire information that we are getting by the end of the day. Then closing the journal entries. When we talk about closing journal entries, closing entries means we are concluding the books of accounts, that this is it, we are done with it, and then we provide the financial statements. That means our profit and loss, it would be determined by the end of the day, and then we will report this to the people who are genuinely interested in knowing the information of the organization. This is how we define the term accounting cycle. Over the period of time, this is what we'll be covering in our classes in terms of the content or MCQs, so that we can cover up this content in a proper way, right? So that's why I'm starting with the area of accounting directly, because in terms of any advanced level of terminologies that we'll be learning, we need to know the basics, what exactly accounting is, why is there a need of accounting, right? Okay. We are just about to start with our batches for the JIB as well as the CIB examination. For that, in the upcoming classes, I'll be talking about the area of accounting in detail. But if you're looking forward towards our paid batches, they are also coming live soon. So all you can do is you can check out our website for the same. Let me show you where you need to go towards, and if you're looking forward towards the classes for JIB or CIB examinations, right? So this is where you can go to www.adda247.com. Here on this website, you can come up. And this is the area we have provided for the JIB and CIB. Mahapack is also there. In terms of the JIB and CIB Mahapack, you'll find both the examinations covered together. See, this is the JIB and CIB Mahapack. Currently, we are providing double validity on that. That means you'll be getting 24 months validity here, where you are getting, yes, ma'am, you are getting that entire area of the classes. If you're looking forward towards covering your JIB and then looking forward towards the CIB as well, the current batch as well as the new syllabi, both of these are covered. There are more than 1100 hours of classes that would be provided to you. 303 test series would be there, 903 videos. Along with that, there would be 324 ebooks that you'll be covering in this JIB as well as the CIB Mahapack. All the syllabus, the current and the latest syllabus that is coming up, that would be there. It would be all updated for you. Then all the faculty that would be taking up the classes is also there, and you can look forward towards the area of buy now, and you can use the code Y541 and you can apply it, and there you'll get 81% of discount here as well if you're going through our web's app. In this area on the website you will find it 80%, in the app you will find it 81%. So you can look forward to that. Or then the next part, what you can do is we have the CIB and JIB. The JIB Mahapack is also there, where we'll be covering all the classes. In terms of this area, you have around 600 hours of classes, 258 test series, 525 videos and 241 ebooks. So all these things are also there. So live classes plus our the numerical and revision batches would be opened up for you, both in terms of the bilingual and English. English is there, right? So you can look forward to both those things. All these things would be accessible for you by taking up this particular batch, right? So you can do it. You can take up the area of buy now, and you can click the code Y541, and you'll get a discount of again 81%. It would come out to be 655 9.20. So at the same time, you're also getting double validity. That means if you'll be looking forward towards 6 months one, you'll get it for 12 months. So this opportunity is also available. The batches would be starting soon. If you're looking forward to that, then kindly keep an eye on our website as well as our YouTube channel. You will be updated every now and then regarding what batches are coming up for the examination, right? So I'll be meeting you in the next class. Thank you so much for being there. We'll be meeting tomorrow at the same time.